Coast to Coast Pick 5. $1 minimum. Player-friendly 15% takeout. Coast to Coast Pick 5.
Hey everyone, Ashley Mailloux here with the DRF. This Saturday's Coast to Coast Pick 5 for January 27th is loaded. It has 3 stakes races, those being the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational at Gulfstream Park, Pegasus World Cup Invitational, and the San Pasquale with 2 other races from Santa Anita. So let's dive right into it. It gets kicked off with race number 12 at Gulfstream Park, the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational, a really big field here. And let's just dive into a replay of Warm Heart. Now we've seen her once since Breeders' Cup weekend out at Santa Anita, but we're going to look at that race in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, and she just simply came up second best. Really narrow defeat here. I thought she raced very well in the stretch. Nice to see her race in North America and was able to handle the shipping, goes back overseas, goes to Hong Kong, and now comes back. And obviously, she is the deserving favorite. She has a really good resume, and I thought she raced very well here, as I mentioned, at Santa Anita. So love her in this spot. I think a couple other horses maybe to look at. Masterpiece. There's been times maybe to stay away from him at the windows or to get on him, and last time out he was a really nice winner in the Grade 2 Red Smith. I thought it was a great performance. Now excited to see him back down at Gulfstream Park where he does have plenty of experience. And then also the number 5 Web Slinger, a big price in here, 15-1 on the morning line. He's always there. It's been a little bit since he's found the winner's circle. You have to go back to June of 2023, but he's been so close in those last 3. Really can't disregard his efforts, and I think if the pace is right, you'll see him flying late. Can he win? He might be a little bit of a stretch, but at what I think is going to be a good price, I could not toss him. So I go 5-8-9 here in the opening leg. Now we go to race number 13 at Gulfstream, the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. And I'm only going to use 2 horses in here. I am going to toss out National Treasure. I think you either love him or you don't like him. I have to go against him at what I know is going to be a really short price with just those 2 wins under his belt. I like the 8 First Mission, but the number 2 O'Connor is my top pick. We'll look at his most recent effort. That was in the Harlan's Holiday. And what an effort from him. Back-to-back wins. I like the way he was able to sneak up here on the inside after having that 2-month freshening. He showed a little gameness. He is going to need to take another huge step forward, but ever since he came over from Chile, his connections were really high on him. He hasn't lived up to those expectations, but what I love is recently he's found his groove, he's found his form. I think he might be able to get the right trip in this race. I do think the pace should be pretty quick early on. Now we'll go out to Santa Anita for their 6th race on their card, and this was a race where I think maybe you go a couple of different ways. You use a horse or you use 2 horses if you think that you can beat the number 1 in here, Judge Miller. We'll take a look at his performance last time out. How do you knock this performance? He's done nothing wrong in his 2 career starts. He's going to grind it out here, get the job done. And he just looks like he has the makings to be something really nice, lightly raced 4-year-old here. So I do think he looks tough in this spot. I think if you're looking at some others though in here, maybe you look to the number 3 St. Elmo, who I thought was interesting for Michael McCarthy. I loved the win 2 starts back. It was at Churchill. They tried him at Turfway Park. I don't think he handled their synthetic surface, and I think he could sit just off the pace in here. The pace is going to be quick. I think he can maybe make a late run, hopefully, at what could be a good price. He's 4-1 morning line, but curious to see how much love the Bob Baffert training in here will take towards the outside of the starting gate, the 8 Flying Drummer. Now, next leg of the sequence is race number 7 at Santa Anita. A nice race on the downhill at 6.5 furlongs there. I think looking at this turf event, a couple of horses really looked like they had a shot. I thought the 2 was very live off that maiden score last time out. I also liked the number 5 Super Chief at a big price. You know, you look at the race 2 back, his only turf start. It's going a mile. It's the furthest he's ever gone in his career. He never showed much. I'm willing to give him another shot because I think his dirt races before that were quite strong. He's going to face his Calbreds in this spot. I think the price will be right on him. And I also thought the number 7, Andy, Can You Hear Me, for Jeff Mullins was intriguing. Has had a couple of efforts at Santa Anita and Del Mar on the turf. The downhill run, though, is what I'm looking at 3 starts back. Talking about basically the same level of competition. He just came up 2nd best and closed from off the pace. So I do think he is very intriguing in this spot. And then to wrap things up, it is race number 8. It's the Grade 2 San Pasquale out at Santa Anita. Interesting field here. When I looked at this, I'm just going to go too deep in here. I think a lot of people are maybe on the Newgate or Newgrange train. I'm going to use Newgate. I am going to toss Newgrange, and instead I'm going to use Mr. Fisk. If the pace is hot, he's going to be flying late. Loved him in his last 2 efforts, and I think he's going in the right direction. So just 4-6 in this closing leg. So we'll take a look at the ticket top to bottom. A very affordable play. If you have a bigger budget and there's horses you're interested in, obviously you can toss them in at your will, but I thought it was a great betting sequence. So don't forget to get involved in this Saturday's Coast to Coast Pick 5. Some really nice races both at Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita. Good luck.